Hey, this is the Woody Gap recreation area. We camped up there on the trail a bit and heading back on the trail. Little view down here to start the morning. Says South Springer 20.6, Katahdin 2171.4. Got a nice view up here, right off the trail. We're sharing with you. The houses down below. I met Nathan out here at the water point here, which is right down here. It's an excellent water point, and I'd ask him to introduce himself.
Hey, I'm Nathan. I've only been hiking for this is my 6th morning. Doing another 2 weeks. I'd hoped to reach Gatlinburg, but I don't have a real itinerary, so I'm taking it easy. I'm a vet. I just finished my first year as a semi-driver. So the company paid for my CDL, and I, by contract, gave them a year of driving time. So I'm free of that.
Awesome.
And came out here to work some of that truck driving energy out of my system.
Yeah,
so
good for you.
really enjoying it. Come on out.
All
Come
right.
on out anytime you can.
Okay, thanks for your service, Nathan. Memorial Day, so it's a special day for all the vets and all that.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks
you
for
as well.
joining me.
It's nice to meet you, John.
All right, okay. All right, thanks, Nathan. Doing a little downhill now. Show you a little bit of what the trail's looking like. Not too bad. Hadn't been too bad. Had a few little climbs up and down. I think I got sassafras coming up. One hiker said that might be a climb, but we'll see. I'm shy of 16 miles to Springer Mountain right now, so from where I left at Woody Gap, that'll be about 20.1 miles, so I'm going to give that a shot today. And if I fall shy a little bit, that's okay, because I'm going to spend the night up there or close to it, and then I'm going to go down the approach trail, which is like 8 or 8.8, I think, and I'm going to go down it because I would like to see that cool waterfall that's there, and plus I want to go into the state park where all the NOBOs leave from and, you know, check that out. So I think I'm recanting what I said yesterday, but I stayed at Woody Gap. Took a while. But anyway, I took some video of the sign this morning and all that, so. But it's kind of interesting because I was down talking to a couple of hikers, and I was gonna keep going a little bit, but you know, I said I'm out of gas. I'm a little over 15 for the day, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up. And I looked at Gut Hook comments, and Woody Gap is big, huge parking lot. Lots of people. Probably not the best place to camp because you're near a main road and all that. But I said, you know, there's already people out there. So I'm going to camp there for the night. So I went into one spot and there was a guy hammocking. I knew there was spots up above. So before I headed up there, I was in the parking lot. I was dumping some trash. They have a pit privy, a pit toilet as well there. And I saw this lady who was covered in tattoos all over her legs and arms and everything. Nothing wrong with that, but she had a lot of good body art going, and then he had a chunk of kids with her. And then I proceeded to head up to the campsite above where the guy hammocking was, and I saw a dude backpacks. They weren't, you know, hiker backpacks, but, you know, they were big school bags or something. And nobody around. So I said, well, this big area. I took a video of it last night. There's room. I mean, if it was a bunch of backpackers, you'd fit a bunch of tents in that spot. And so I And then they came up, and I knew they took the choicest spot, which is okay. And so I went over and kind of pulled out my tent footprint or top, put it down, started getting ready to set up my tent and all that. And then a couple of young guys came up, and young kid about 8 or 10. He says, "Oh, are you camping with us?" I said, "Yeah, we're all gonna camp here together." I figured it'd be all right. So and then I noticed they all departed. They headed back towards the parking lot, and the lady kind of gave me a snicker and said, "Thanks for stealing our campsite," and walked away in disgust. And far away. I barely heard her, but part of me was thinking I ought to give a little bit of a retort to that, but I didn't want to be, negative.
Howdy.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
You crossed that stream up here?
I did. Yeah, it's a good one. If you need water, it's a great,
Perfect,
great point.
I didn't know if we had to climb down there and get it.
No, no, you're gonna cross right across it.
Hey, have a great
All right, you too.
Good seeing another person.
All right. All righty. So anyway, part of me wanted to give her an expletive, but kids and all that. I'm not going to do that. And that's just I guess that's an indicator of, people think they own this piece of the forest, and whereas if it's a bunch of thru-hikers, hikers or section hikers or all that, and they kind of understand, first come, first serve, make room for everybody else, blah, blah, blah. And, there was plenty of room in this campsite, so, so they kind of left, and she was the only one that was kind of storming off. And then her boyfriend or husband, I'm maybe guessing boyfriend, came over, and he basically said, she's a little upset, blah, blah, blah. We have girls with us and stuff like that. And it's not like I was going to, walk around, in the buff or anything. But, I get it, And so I proceeded to put my tent where they were, because that was the flattest and the best spot in the campsite, and set up, and that was it. But I didn't have much water. And here's another dumbass Dupra thing. There was water there. It was a little bit of a walk, but I didn't have much water. But I looked in Gut Hook and I saw a couple water sources within a mile or so. So I said I'll get some water along the way. But those water points were kind of like non-existent, which was unfortunate. But we haven't had rain in a little while, so I had about a ½ inch of water as I'm hiking. And then I got the Gooch Gap, and there was a sign for water. It was a hike to get to the water point, but it wasn't a bad downhill. And I talked to a couple of section hikers with the dog. And then I found out the guy had hiked the AT in 2007, because I noted he had a cool looking tattoo on the back of his leg. And I had already talked to them about, me doing the flip-flop and all that. And I asked him about his tattoo. I says, "Hey, it looks like the East Coast there." He says, "Yeah, it's the AT. I did it in 2007. So I said, "Wow, good on you." He told me, he said, "Boy, has this trail changed since I hiked it," which is remarkable. That was in the pre-Gut Hook days, and the AT guide was around then, but that was about it. I met another interesting guy. I got him on video, Nathan. Truck driver, on a break from work, former Navy vet, in a character. So he's a writer as well. So I'll communicate with him. And he was an interesting guy. When he came down the water point, he started peeling out stuff. He had a number of books and stuff, but he says, "I got a project I'm working on." So I said, "Hey, good on you, But you can see this is a good one. This is a nice one to stick your feet in and everything. And there's a sign up there, and I just went by this place, but it says Camping 100 yards. It's, it's starting to get warm and humid. It's even more important that people out here are making sure they get plenty of fluids in them. Because dehydration is a big thing. And, you know, I think most people know, but you can get a usual indicator by the color of your pee or your urine. And maybe it's probably much easier for we males to give it a check, but you know, there has been times where, you know, it's been like caramel color for me, which I've always known that's not a good indicator, and you need to pound some water. So when I get in a situation like that, it's usually because I've been low on water, been dumb, haven't watered up appropriately. But when I do find a good water source, then I try to put back at least a liter, sometimes 2, or as much as the second one as I can get in me, and make sure I have at least a liter of water, or 1.5 liters with me as well. Electrolytes, yeah, there's a bunch of different kinds. There's Walmart stuff, there's this Propel stuff, and I think it just helps. Plus it makes the water taste good. I got this Propel, it's like watermelon flavored stuff, and it's pretty good. So I highly recommend that, because I think particularly in the hot and humid, I remember talking to a thru-hiker when me and Nicole were out on a 3-day journey in Shenandoah National Park, and he said, yeah, in this 90-degree heat, I'm usually doing about 1 liter an hour. These things are everywhere on the trail. I guess I just put them in a protective posture. But a lot of these get squished, and then the bugs eat them. This is a nice find, a water bull or a water buffalo. Some army guys here, must be some exercise going. I passed for a woman hiker here.
Hi, my name is Twinkle Toes, real name Allison. I grew up in California, but I've been living in Florida for the past year, so I have to escape every now and then and get to the mountains, which is why I'm doing this section hike of the AT.
Very cool. And what's your section you're doing this time, Twinkle Toes?
I started on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm going as far as Blood Mountain.
All right.
Turning around.
Very cool. Very cool. And you're going all the way back to Colola?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that'd be a good hike.
Yeah, it's about 80 miles.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. You pretty comfortable out here in the woods?
Yeah.
Good.
I've done, I was solo hiking in Smoky Mountains last November.
Okay.
Before that I was in Shenandoah. So
Yeah.
that's my AT experience.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, the 2 national parks that the AT runs through.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
They're beautiful.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for joining, and all the best on your section hike. I came across 3 hikers out here, and
Hey.
I'd like them to introduce themselves.
I'm Cricket. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm a teacher, so I'm headed to Damascus. It's day 2 right now for me.
Very good.
Feeling great. I'm out here for peace and quiet and to find my strength.
All right. All right. You'll have plenty of opportunity to look for all that, I think.
My name is Ryan. This is day 3. Started from Amicalola Falls. I'm trying to do a full through hike all the way to Katahdin, and I'll probably end up flip-flopping after I have to get off the trail in about a week and go to a wedding, and then probably fly up to Harpers Ferry. And I'm here to find my peace again.
And I'm Chief, and I'm just out here to have fun until I get tired of walking.
All right. Where are you from, Chief?
Florida.
Florida. All right. Very good. Well, thank you very much for joining me, and all the best on whatever your journey is going to be. I bumped into 4 soldiers that were in some opposition force outfit, so they were aggressing. And then I got up to Cooper's Gap, and there was a water buffalo, or a water bull, as we used to call them there. And I had seen on Gut Hook that it's occasionally there. So I saw it as an opportunity to get some water without having to filter it. So I asked the soldiers that were on the truck they had any problems. They said not at all. And then I asked them, you know, what unit they were in. It said RTB, and I was thinking Recruit Training Battalion, but it was Ranger Training Battalion. And obviously this is the schoolhouse here in Georgia for Ranger School, and they were aggressing that, so that's why they were out. I'm at Long Creek Falls. Not a humongous waterfall, but pretty awesome. The trail has almost been like a road. Just interesting. And not very well blazed. It had white diamonds instead of a white blaze. But yeah, this is pretty much what I've been walking on since I left Long Creek Falls. Look at, oh, now we have the blaze and the triangle or the diamond. Here's a cool sign for me. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not today. We'll see.